Okay, today we're going to do Unit 6 review. First problem says solve for x. Since it's a quadratic and the last term ends in x, we're going to factor using the GCF. So the GCF of 24 and 30 is 6, and because they both have an x, GCF would be 6x. Okay, then we have to write whatever's left. So 24 divided by 6 is 4. Since there was x squared and we took one x away, there's still an x. Bring down the plus sign. 30 divided by 6 is 5. And again, we took the x away. Then we're going to use the zero product property. So we're going to draw our line, and then we're going to break them apart. So we're going to have 6x equals to 0, and 4x plus 5 is equal to 0. So x is equal to 0. We're going to move the 5. So we're going to subtract 5. 4x is going to equal negative 5. And finally, we're going to divide by 4. So x is equal to negative 5 over 4. Okay, so the answer is going to be A. For number 2, it says factor. Once again, it's a squared. The last term doesn't end in an x, so we're going to do guess and check. So two numbers multiplied together, that gives you 4b squared, be 4b and 1b. Two numbers multiplied together, that gives you negative 5. That would be negative 5 and 1. I'm going to write it as positive 5 and 1 and negative 1. Okay. So we're going to cross multiply to verify my answer. So 5 times 1b is 5b. Negative 4 times negative 1 is negative 4b. And then by adding them, we get 1b. And we check to make sure that we do get the middle term. So my factor form would be 4b plus 5 and b minus 1. So 4b plus 5, b minus 1. Again, it doesn't matter the order that they're in. It just needs to be b minus 1 and then 4b plus 5. Okay, number 3 says Bob's solution to the equation is shown below. Which property of real number did Bob use for step 2? Okay, so step 2, what he did is he drew the line and he separated them. So that is called the zero product property. Okay, so multiply. We're going to multiply, so we start with the x, and we're going to distribute the x twice. So x times 9x is 9x squared. X times 1 is 1x. We're going to do the same thing with the negative 2. Negative 2 times 9x, negative 18x. And finally, negative 2 times 1, that's going to give me negative 2. So we're going to combine our like terms, which are our middle terms. So 1x minus negative 17x, or negative 18x is 17x. Bring down the 2, bring down the 9x squared. So the answer would be B. Okay, number 5 says solve. Which is the first incorrect step? So let's go through these. First thing you would do is you would distribute. So you get negative 3x plus 8x minus 48 is equal to negative 4. Okay, so that checks, so that is correct. So step 1 is correct. Next thing you do is combine like terms. They're different signs you subtract, not add. So this is wrong. So therefore step 2 is wrong. Okay, number 6 is to simplify. All they want us to do is use the distributive property. So 7 times x is 7x squared. 7 times 9 is 63x. And 7 times negative 9 is negative 63. Okay, which is a factor of 5x squared minus 13x plus 6. This is just saying factor, and one of them is going to be the answer. So we're going to factor using guess and check. We have 5x and 1x. Two numbers multiplied together, that gives you 6. It would be 2 and 3. Since it's negative, one of them has to be negative, the other one has to be positive. I'm sorry, since it's positive, they're either both negative or they're both positive. Since the middle term is negative, they're both going to be negative. So let's cross multiply. That's 2x. That would give me negative 15x. And together that gives me negative 17. Okay, so that's not it because I want the middle term to be negative 13. So let's switch them. So instead of 2 and 3, let's write 3 and 2. So cross multiply, that's negative 3x. Cross multiply, that's negative 10. Add them, so that's negative 13. That's correct. So the factor would be 5x minus 3, or another factor would be x minus 2. So I have to see which one it is. Okay, it's not this one because this one's x. 5x plus 3 is not b, so the answer would be c. That's the one that's shown. Okay, number 8. Working as a waiter, you earn $6 per hour as well as $50 in tip. Find the total amount of earned after 7 hours. Different ways you can do this. You can either write an equation, which would be 6x plus 50. Okay. And then substitute 7 for the x. So 7 times 6 is 42. And 42 plus 50 would be 92. Okay. Or you can just work this out. Okay. After 1 hour, he would earn $6 plus 50. After 2 hours, he would earn $12 plus $50 in tip. 3 hours would be 18 plus 50. Okay. So you will work that until you get 6. Okay, 9. Graph. So we're going to graph using the x-intercept and the y-intercept. To find the x-intercept, we're going to make y equals to 0. So we'll end up with negative 3x equals to negative 3. So x equals to 1. So my x-intercept is 1, comma 0. Okay, so here's 1, comma 0. And here's 1, comma 0. To find the y-intercept, you make x equals to 0. So you're going to have negative y equals to negative 3, or y equals to positive 3. So my y-intercept is 0, 3. Okay, so it would be this one. The answer is D. Okay, 10 says multiply. So once again, I'm going to start with the x and use the distributive property to multiply it twice. So x times x is x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. Okay, so now I have to multiply the 3. 3 times x is positive 3x. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. And if you look at your middle term, negative 3x plus 3x is 0. So you're just left with x squared minus 9. 11, which is a factor. Once again, we're going to have to factor using guess and check. Two numbers multiplied together that gives you x squared is x times x. Two numbers multiplied together that gives you 20. 5 and 4, since it's positive, they're both going to be positive or they're both going to be negative. Since my middle term is negative, they're both going to be negative. So we're going to have negative 5x, negative 4x. So if we add them, that does give me my middle term. So x minus 5, x minus 4. So I need to know which one of these is the answer. So it's not x plus 5. is not x plus 4, so it would be x minus 5. Okay, number 12. A local ice skating rink charges members a one-time fee of $40 plus $12 per section to skate. Okay, so 40 is the one-time fee. So this is going to be my slope. So the equation so far looks 12x plus 40. Okay. So looking at the answers, I know that the answer can't be A or it can't be C. If x is the number of sections, write an inequality that describes the number of sections the predicate at 10 for $91. Okay. So they have at most $91. So they can have at most $91. Okay. The problem is that for this one, it's backwards. So we're going to write them backwards. So since we switched them, we also have to switch the inequality. So it would be B. 13, solve. We'll notice that this problem is already factored for you. So all you have to do is use the zero product property. So we're going to have 9x plus 4 is going to equal 0. X minus 7 is going to equal 0. So we're going to subtract 4. And then we're going to divide by 9. So x equals negative 4 over 9. And this side, again, we're going to add 7. So x equals negative 4, 9, or x equals 7. Okay, be careful with your signs. Okay, number 14, write an equation of line perpendicular. Okay, so perpendicular means that they're going to be different. So instead of my slope being negative 1/2, the slope is going to be positive 2. Remember, you flip and change the sign that passes through the point. So we're going to use point slope form, x and y. Remember, the y goes with the y's, change the sign. My slope, and then x plus 3, change the sign. So we're going to distribute. So we get 2x plus 6, bring down the y plus 4, and then we're going to subtract 4 from both sides. So we get y is equal to 2x plus